Palmer, special teams coming up next.
Yeah, special teams. I think Georgia probably had the most well-known specialist in the country this past season, past couple of seasons, in Rodrigo Blankenship. Definitely a crowd favorite in Athens. He's gone, leaving behind, big shoes to fill. And I think there's still some uncertainty. I think that's a storyline to follow this spring. Not to mention the fact that they are bringing in a new special teams coach. Scott Fountain heads to Arkansas with Sam Pittman, and Georgia brings in Scott Cochran, former strength coach at Alabama, which we could talk for days about the impact that that's going to have. His first on-field role. Cochran it was a program guy for Nick Saban, has been there with Saban for all 6 of his national championships, be it the 1 at LSU and 5 at Alabama. And I think Kirby Smart and Cochran had a great relationship at Alabama. Their families are close, and I think that's a hire that people really, it may not be the eye-popping hire as a special teams coordinator. I think a lot of people look at special teams and write it off. That's something that Kirby Smart really values, and he showed that in hiring a guy that he really values. I think that special teams is going to be something that people, really need to pay attention to this spring, and more so this fall. You've got Jake Camarda coming back as a punter. He, really developed in his sophomore season. He will have the punting duties again. He has kicked before, but I'm not sure that Kirby Smart wants to have the same guy punting and kicking and doing kickoffs. I think it's going to be interesting to see, who ends up filling that kickoff and that extra point and that field goal kicking role. Could be freshman Jared Zirkle, who won't be here this spring. And I think, you're going to see some walk-on guys getting a chance to kick. You're going to see, you probably are going to see Camarda getting a chance to kick as well. So definitely something to watch. I think the spring storyline would be, how does Camarda look as a kicker? Does it look like Kirby wants to put him as a kicker and a punter? And also the impact that Scott Cochran can have on that group. But I think you're not necessarily going to have the kicking competition settled until fall camp.
And just to run down the numbers again of Blankenship, who's concluded a historic career in college, 27 of 33 last year at 82%. And Camarda, a tremendous average at 46.8 per. Who do you expect to be bringing back kicks and punts? Do you have an idea on that one?
Yeah, and that's another interesting scenario because, Dominic Blaylock was the punt returner for Georgia, and, he tears his ACL in the SEC championship against LSU. So I think you could – I would say I'm going to throw James Cook out there as someone that, really could be could be in the return game. He was involved last year. Typically it was him and Harrion back deep. And he got a little too excited, it looked like, and, tried to return some out of the end zone that Kirby Smart wasn't too happy about. He ends up getting replaced by Zamir White in the return game. So you saw White and Harrion back there. With Harrion out of the picture, I think you very well could see White and Cook back there returning kicks, and Blaylock as a punt returner, maybe Blaylock as a kick returner, but all that is pending on his health. So in the meantime, James Cook will probably get a look. Kyrus Jackson will probably get a look. Jackson got a couple punt returns, but mentioned earlier in our wide receiver preview that he was battling some hand injuries, wrist injuries. So, I think once Blaylock is back, I think the big concern is, just his ability to, cut and shift coming off of an ACL injury. And that is so important to, being a punt returner and a kick returner in general. I think if he can get back to the form that he was in his freshman year, it's his job to lose. But you're going to see guys get an opportunity to prove themselves this spring with Blaylock sidelined.
Love the breakdown, Palmer. Appreciate it. That's Palmer Thombs on Dogs at 247 Sports, so please join him there. And, of course, if you love college football and you're not subscribed, I don't get it. So please subscribe right here at Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football, as we break down Georgia, the SEC, and the nation every day. Palmer, thanks so much for all the work that you've done for us, and we will catch up with you soon.